We're gonna talk about how it's good to read. The team is Sebastián Aguila, Luisa Mariana, and Rodrigo Torres. To start with, I'm gonna talk about the four main types of reading techniques that are the following: skimming, scanning, intensive and extensive reading. I'm going to talk about specifically of skimming and scanning. Skimming is sometimes referred to as gist reading. Skimming may help in order to know what the text is about as at its most basic levels. You might typically do this with a magazine or newspaper and would help you mentally and quickly shortlist those articles which you might consider for a deeper read. You you might typically skim to search for a name in a telephone directory. You can reach a speed count of even 700 words per minute. If you train yourself well on this particular method, comprehension is of course very low and understanding of overall content very superficial. Also, now I'm gonna talk about scanning. Scanning is a picture of yourself visiting a historical city, guidebook in hand. You must probably just scan the guidebook to see which site you might want to visit. Scanning involves getting your eyes to quickly scuttle across sentence and is used to get just a simple piece of information. Research has concluded that reading off a computer screen totally actually inhibits the pathways to effective scanning and also reading of paper is far more conducive to a speedy comprehension of text. Sometimes students student, something students sometimes do not give enough importance to its illustrations. This should be included in your scanning. Special attention to the introduction and the conclusion should also be paid.
Intensive reading. You need to have your aims clear in mind when undertaking intensive reading. Remember, this is going to be far more time consuming than scanning or skimming. If you need to list the chronology of events in a long passage, you will need to read it intensively. This type of reading has indeed beneficial to language learners as it helps them understand vocabulary by deducing the meaning of words in context. It, moreover, helps with retention of information for long periods of time, and knowledge resulting from intensive reading persists in your long-term memory. This is one reason why reading huge amounts of information just before an exam doesn't work very well.
Hi, today I'm going to talk about my favorite book that it's Malala. That's the best book I have ever read, and it talks about the life of an activist in Palestine that her name is Malala. She's an activist in her country, but now she lives in London because he had to leave her country because they want her to be die. They wanted to kill her because she fights against the government. She fights for the woman rights because they were not allowed to study as other girls in other countries. Their culture were very strict with women, so she didn't have the opportunity to study the way she would want to. But and she started writing a blog on the internet, like a really serious blog, but that make the government or the people that rule her wanted to kill her. So she received a bullet in her head and she almost died, but she survived and now she's like a really big hero. She's an activist. She's so famous. She's a speaker around the world. She has come to Mexico and she's like one of my big heroes, and I have learned a lot of her.
Sin lentes.
Bueno,
Espérate.
ya tenemos un blooper.
Intensive reading. You need to have your aims clear in mind when